Welcome to the lecture Code Export Users to PDF. You will learn to implement the export functionality that allows admins to download a PDF document that contains information of all users in the database by clicking on the hyperlink Export to PDF in the users listing page. And this is the content of an exported PDF document. You see, the user information is displayed in a table like this with the columns as the fields of user ID, email, first name, last name, rows, and enable. And each row shows details of a specific user, as you can see here. PDF document contains all user fields except password and photos, and the exported data is sorted by first name in ascending order. And the exported PDF files should be named following this pattern, starting by users underscore and then a timestamp, which is a current date and time, and the extension is .pdf. And to implement the export users to PDF functionality, we need to update the user controller class, code a new handler method that handles the download link in the user's listing page. And then we need to code a new business class user PDF exporter that reads the user information from a list of user objects, and then write a PDF data to the response so the browser will be able to download a PDF document. And for writing a PDF document, we need to use some APIs from the OpenPDF library, which is the free and open source Java library for reading and writing PDF documents. Alright, let's coding. Open the Maven project file of the ShopMe backend project, and we need to add a new dependency to use the OpenPDF library. So declare a new dependency section here with the group ID is com.github.lib PDF, and artifact ID is OpenPDF, and version is 1.3.8. and Maven will download the required jar files for this OpenPDF library. You can check in the Maven dependency section here. You see the jar files for OpenPDF library here. And this is a project based of the OpenPDF library on github.com/libpdf/OpenPDF. You see, OpenPDF is a free Java library for creating and editing PDF files. It is based on iText PDF library. For detailed information and code examples, you can go to its wiki page and tutorial here to learn more how to use this PDF library. Come back to the project and open the user's HTML page and add a new hyperlink for exporting to PDF. Here, the URL is /user/export/PDF, and the text is export to PDF. And refresh the user's listing page, and you can see the link export to PDF here. And then we need to update the user controller class, add a new handler method for the new hyperlink export to PDF. Here we can copy, paste, and modify the code of the previous handler. Here the URL is /user/export/PDF, method name export to PDF, and we create a new business class user PDF exporter, and create this new class. Finish. And then we create the method export. Click here, create method export with two parameters, list users and response here. And we have this class extends the abstract exporter class, and in the export method we call super set response header, and pass the content type is application/pdf. So the browser will be able to download the data as a PDF document, and the extension is .pdf. And now we use the APIs of OpenPDF library. Throw declaration. Okay. Now we use API of the OpenPDF library to create a new PDF document. Document equal new document, and we specify the page size. Page size is A4 size here, and then we call PDF writer get instance to write the content of this document to a writer, which is the writer from the HTTP submit response get output stream here. Sorry, response get output stream. Here, the PDF writer, we read the content of the document and then write the content to a response, so the browser will download the response as a PDF document because the content type is application/pdf here. And then we open the document. Open. Now we need to write the first line of the document is the text list of users here. So we add a new paragraph for the document. Add new paragraph. New paragraph with the text here. List of users. And then close the document. It will write the content to the response, so the browser will download the PDF document. Okay, save the changes and we now can test. Click the link export to PDF. We got a locale label error page. Let's see. We have not saved the user controller class yet. Okay, and refresh. And now we got another error, file error, no class dev file error here. We need to restart the application. Right click here, restart. Okay, and refresh the user's listing page and click export to PDF, and you see it downloads a PDF document here, show in folder, and we have the first PDF document exported here with the file name is users and then followed by a timestamp which is a current date and time. Double click to open it in the PDF application. We can use Chrome to open the PDF file because I don't have any PDF reader on my computer. Click OK. And this is the content of our first PDF document. You can see the text at the first line is list of users. So far so good. We need to make the text list of users bigger with a blue color and center on the page. So we need to use a new paragraph object, so we can set some format properties. Here we create a new font object, font equal font factory, get font, and specify the font name, font factory. For example, we use a font name Helvetica Pro here, and then we can set the size of this font which is 18, and set color for this font. Color is blue. And then we create a new paragraph object with this font. Paragraph equal new paragraph with the text and the font here. List of users and the given font, and then we add this paragraph to the document. Paragraph. Okay, now test again. Click export to PDF, and now we have the second PDF file, and double click to open it in Chrome browser. It is open in Microsoft Edge, and we see the text list of user is now in blue and it looks bigger. Now we need to center it on the page, so we need to set the attribute for the paragraph. Set alignment, paragraph align center here. Okay, and then test again. Click show in folder, and we open with Chrome. Always open with Chrome. Okay, now we have the text list of users is blue and center on the page. Perfect. Then we need to create the table header with 6 columns: ID, email, first name, last name, rows, and enable. With the background color is blue and the text color is white. So we create a new PDF table here after the paragraph. PDF P table equal new PDF P table, and we specify the number of columns is 6 columns, and then we set the width percentage for the table is 100%, and then we add the table to the document add table, and we write a new method for creating the table header. Write table header, passing the table object, and create this method here. Okay, here we need to create a new PDF cell, PDF P cell for the table. Cell equal new PDF P cell, and set the background color for this cell. Set background color, which is blue color, and set the padding for this cell is about 5 pixels, and then we set the font size and font color. So we create a new font object, so we copy and paste this code that creates the new font object here. Font factory font name is just Helvetica, not bold, and the color is white, and then we set a phrase for this cell. Set phrase, new phrase, and passing the text is user ID, which is the first column, and then the font object, and then we add this cell to the table add cell for the given cell. Okay, now we can test. Click export to PDF, and click to open the exported file. We don't see the table here. Let's see, is there any error in the console view? No error at all. Right table header, passing the table. Let me write the code to add other cells for other column headers. The next one is for the email. Next one is for first name, column first name. And column last name. And column rows. And the last column is enabled. Okay, save the changes and test again. Export to PDF. Open. Here we have the header of the table here with the field names, user ID, email, first name, last name, rows, and enable. And we need to add some extra space between the text and the table header. So here we set the table spacing before here. Table set spacing before, which is about 10 pixel. Yeah. Okay. And test again. Open. Okay. So far so good, right? And lastly, we need to write the actual data, the user information in the table here. So after writing the table header, we write the table data. Table. And we pass the list of users here. List users. And create this method. Okay, here we go. Write table data. And we iterate through the list users for each user in the list. Here we add a simple cell to the table. Add cell with the value is for the first column is the user ID string, the value of, because user ID is of type integer, so we need to use string value of here to convert to a string user get ID. And the next column is user email, user get email. The next one is first name. Next one is last name. Next one is a rows of the table. Get rows to string. And the last one is enable status. We convert the boolean value to string is enabled here. And that's it. And now test again. Click export to PDF and open the document. Here we go, the data in the table. So far so good, right? The list is sorted by user first name, as you can see here. And finally, we need to adjust the width of the columns in the table here. So that's a statement to modify the width of columns in the table here. Yeah. Table set width here. And we pass an array of relative widths, an array of float number showing the relative percentage of the width of the table. The first column is the ID column, second one is email, third one is first name, last name, and rows, and the last column is enable status. That's it. And we do the final test for exporting users information to PDF. Export to PDF, open, and it looks better now, right? I think we need to make a small change, change the ID here, column user ID here to just ID, and change the width of the ID column is just 1.2 and the width of the enable status column is 1.7. Okay, now this time I hope it is the final test. Export to PDF and open. You see, it looks perfect now.